All right, I got the provider of the red pill, Jerome Myers of Myers Methods. Got a couple of podcasts. Matt, welcome back to the show. I'm definitely interested in talking to you about your new conference coming up, which I've been recently added as speaker to. So I'm pretty stoked on that, man. How are you doing today, Jerome?
Awesome, Ruben. So grateful to be with you. You know, when you reached out and said, Jerome, I want to help you promote the conference by doing a quick spot, I was like, this is one of the nicest things I've had anybody do for me in a long time. So, man, I appreciate your support. You were down for us back in February when we were getting ready for March. Here we are at the end of July and getting ready to roll into it. So, I'm super excited about the MidAtlantic Multifamily Investing Conference and grateful that you accepted my invitation to come on and share some of the lessons.
For sure, man. I'd love to. So, but let's go into for the audience that wants to find out if they should attend this event that have not heard of it, or maybe that are reconsidering, hey, now that it's a virtual event, what can I expect at this particular virtual event that I may not have understood before? Tell us about, who are the speakers? What's the purpose? What are you trying to accomplish with this event?
Yeah, so I recently had a conversation with Michael Blanc, and I
Yeah.
thought, and this is like what we've been looking for. The platform that people have to actually share is really important because it affects the number of people that you get to reach. And you and I have these conversations via text about podcasting and, how many people are actually listening and so on and so forth. And the fact of the matter is, when you look across the spectrum, you don't see many people of color who are in the space that are sharing these stories and giving people somebody, a role model and an example to aspire to. And so people may shrug their shoulder and say, what does that mean? Or why do you care? It matters because there are some people who look up and say, well, if nobody looks like me, then maybe we just don't do this. And so we have the most diverse lineup of speakers in the country. And, that is a point of pride for me. That's not the reason, though. I've reached out to all my different multifamily investing friends and said, hey, I want to put a conference together and I want it to feel like a family reunion. And I would like for you to be a speaker in the lineup. And just about everybody agreed to do it. And that was really exciting for me. And so we're coming in and we're talking about Myers Methods and kind of running through the gamut on how we get into deals so that people can figure out how to get their first deal done. And we're having more advanced or senior folks come in and talk about how they've scaled their businesses so that people can learn how to scale, and everything kind of in between. It's all things multifamily, got a bunch of different VIP networking sessions so people can spend time with the speakers, or they can just be in general admission and do those networking sessions independently. We've got a super platform. It's called Remo, and that platform is going to allow you to come in, see the speakers present live. You're also going to be able to hang out in the lobby if you want to play hooky and grab a table.
Tell me more about this networking platform. So, like, if I am at your event, how do I connect with other people there? I think that would be one of my objections, would be like, well, I would rather go to an event where I can actually meet people. But I think what you're saying is that you have that option here with the Mid-Atlantic Multifamily Virtual Conference.
Yeah, I do have that option, right? And so while you're not going to be in the same room and be able to put skin to skin, you are able to sit across from each other in a virtual chat. And it's no different than sitting across the table from somebody, other than you can't touch them. You can see their facial features, you can see their reaction, you can see all of that stuff. So that part for me is super exciting. And whether, it's just you one on one, like we're doing right now, or if there's 4 or 5 people sitting around a 6-person table doing the exact same thing, for me that part is super exciting. And then in addition to that, you're able to check out the speakers and ask questions, and there's chat features and a bunch of other stuff. The platform is just knocked my socks off when I started demoing it a few weeks ago, right before we made this decision to go virtual, because we can't predict when people will be able to get together in large gatherings. And so yeah, man, I can't say enough about it. I can't wait to send out the demo video to all the attendees so they can figure out how to log on and all that stuff. And it's going to be a great opportunity to connect with people that you probably wouldn't be able to get access to otherwise because they're really selective with their time.
Who are some of the speakers that you're going to be having that people may be less familiar with that have, a lot of real street knowledge in regards to multifamily investing?
I think the person that jumps out the most, there's really two far as a credibility standpoint that people wouldn't know about. The first is Maurice Philogene. So Maurice is kind of the ultimate chameleon. He's been an executive at Accenture for over 20 years. He's a At night, he moonlights as a police officer. He just retired from the military or the Air Force, and he's a multifamily investor. He does a combination of mobile homes as well as apartment buildings, and he's just been hitting the floor running. He spent his 20s building up a single family portfolio and doing some condo work, and then he kind of sold that stuff off or got it all paid off, and then rolled that equity into multifamily and mobile homes. And it's been investing in like Georgia and Kentucky and some other places. I don't even know where all his holdings are. And then my man Pankaj Sharma is coming to share his family's journey. Pankaj, he holds a portfolio over 2,000 doors. And, last summer, this time, they were closing on an 800 unit deal,
Wow.
$50 million purchase price, just him and his dad in a JV. And they've got that thing stabilized through COVID, believe it or not. And so he's going to come in. He's going to talk a lot of mindset. He's going to talk generational wealth. We actually have him speaking at a VIP session as well as to general admission. And the goal there is just to show people kind of how far you can go, right? Because once you build a several $100 million portfolio without a bunch of limited partners, it puts you in a place where you don't have to come and share, right? But for him, it's about giving back and then really engaging. And then we got some people who've come through the Myers Methods coaching program with a combination of people who've actually been through our course, and they'll be sharing their early wins and success stories. And then I'm taking it all the way back to sophomore year in college when my man Duran and I were sitting on the stoop. I talk about him a lot in the podcast. We were doing the math, and he's going to talk about the journey that we've made from, being two broke college students to owning a few $1 million in real estate. And so, that's the game. There is no pitch. There is no bragging about how many doors or asset under management or any of that stuff. It's just real stories from real operators and people who are around the industry who I respect and wanted to give an opportunity to share because they may not get opportunity on some of the more popular platforms that are out there.
Sweet. So for the person that's looking to get into multifamily, is this an event that they should attend, or is it more for the sophisticated investor?
I think it's for both, right? And some people will say, well, who's your avatar? What's your target audience? The person who's never done a deal needs to come in and get inspired. I'm going to be teaching about deals. And so for the people who don't want to learn how we do deals, even though I think we've got a pretty unique approach to getting them done, they can go hang out in the lobby and meet people who may be investors or maybe potential partners. For the people who are sophisticated, we've got you coming in to talk about the lessons that you've learned on the Capital Raiser show. We've got other people who've probably got bigger personal holdings than they have. And so it's absolutely an opportunity for them to come in and see how to maybe move from that syndication model where they own a very small piece of the deal and grow into their own personal portfolio and their personal holdings. And so I think we'll have something for everybody, but the goal is to create a diverse community, and diverse means everybody from all backgrounds. A lot of the speakers are going to be different than what you would see at some of the more traditional conferences.
Very cool. Before I let you break out, tell me a little bit about how people interact with the actual speakers. Is there going to be a question and answer session or some kind of form of interactivity with the speakers as they're doing their thing?
It depends on how much content they have. Everybody's going to have some prepared content, and if they leave time at the end for Q&A, then that'll be available for them. But we've got the networking sessions, and the great thing about the platform that we're using is you'll be able to click on the person's name and potentially sit down with them or at least chat them at the minimum, right? So you'll be able to connect with people who you probably can't get on the phone. And I say that a lot is when I go to different networking and different networking meetup type events and these conferences, it's like I couldn't get these guys in the room or couldn't get them on the phone if I wanted to. And here I am sitting with them talking. And that happened at Dealmaker Live last week. And it happens at just about every event that I go to. So, for me, it's super exciting to make a small investment, so that people will actually show up and participate and actually take some stuff away, because I truly believe that you only value what you make an investment for. And then from there, we pivot and you go off and you build these deep relationships, because this is just the start.
Very cool, Jay. So how do people buy tickets or get a hold of information about the conference?
Yeah, so general admissions 250, no surprise there, right? And then you go over to myersmethods.com/con 2020, and there they can see all of the speakers. They can see the agenda. It starts at Friday the 31st at 6 p.m., and we're going to run until noon on the 2nd of August. And they can get all the speakers, they can get the lineup, they'll see some cool videos, and they can make that decision whether or not they want to purchase or not.
Any last words of why somebody should come to the conference?
It's going to be amazing, and you're going to miss out if you don't come. I can't emphasize enough how different this opportunity is to the traditional things. And I promise you, it will be something that catapults your multifamily investing career to the next level.